Hello, everyone, this is Frozen here back again continuing my Jurassic marathon leading up to Jurassic World Dominion. This time, it's going to be a double review between the two Jurassic Park sequels, The Lost World Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 3. So, let's get this review started. So, The Lost World Jurassic Park is once again directed by Steven Spielberg. The plot for this one is about two teams being sent back to the park for different reasons. One team is sent to study the dinosaurs while the other is sent to transfer them. I actually used to enjoy this film when I first watched it back in 2015, but sadly, this movie did not age well. The Lost World Jurassic Park is an absolutely bland and forgettable sequel that does not live up to the first film in every way possible. But don't get me wrong, it's not a bad film by any means, there's nothing offensively bad about it or anything. But one thing I will give this sequel credit for is Steven Spielberg's directing. My thoughts on this film is identical to everyone's thoughts on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Great direction, poor script. That's exactly what The Lost World is. After all, this is a Spielberg movie, and he saved this film. The only movie where I didn't feel any of the Spielberg magic is the BFG. So even if The Lost World is one of Spielberg's weakest films, it's miles better than the BFG. I'm sorry I can't stand that film. The Lost World had pretty fun action scenes and good visuals. Well, there was one dinosaur species that had god-awful CGI. It was those tiny green dinosaurs that attacked Vince Vaughn. That CGI was shit. Oh, speaking of Vince Vaughn, the new characters were so forgettable. It was nice to see Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm back, as he was one of the biggest saving graces of this film. But shame no Sam Neill and Laura Dern in here. The new characters were either one-dimensional and just plain forgettable. Vince Vaughn and Vanessa Chester's characters were the worst ones. They were so annoying. Julianne Moore was just boring. The script was not as much of a flaw as the new characters, but the script was just lazy, and it had the pacing of a snail. It was so boring and slow. So overall, The Lost World Jurassic Park is a very forgettable sequel despite Spielberg and Goldblum trying to save it. I give The Lost World Jurassic Park a 5 out of 10. And now time for the second review, which is Jurassic Park 3. Unfortunately, this is going to be a rant, pretty much the first rant video on my channel. Despite, like what I said in my channel intro video, I will not use the rant title on my videos because I just want to keep it as a movie review, and I explained it in my channel intro video. But yeah, Jurassic Park 3 is directed by Joe Johnston, the same director who made Jumanji, Honey I Shrunk the Kids, Captain America the First Avenger, and The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. The film tells the story about a family who makes Dr. Alan Grant accompany them to the park where, I'm sorry but I really can't explain it. It's not my fault, blame the story. But yeah, Jurassic Park 3 is a total disaster of a movie. I've always hated it to begin with, but I hated it even more on rewatch. This is not only the worst Jurassic Park movie, but the worst movie by Joe Johnston. Yes, I'd rather watch The Nutcracker and the Four Realms over this. I initially thought this was the worst movie of 2001, but actually this is my second worst movie of 2001, number one being Pearl Harbor, directed by Michael Bay. So, are there any positives of this film? Actually, yes, there is a few. I do like the return of Sam Neill, and Alan Grant pretty much is the only character of the film. Laura Dern was in it, but sadly, she was wasted. Where was Jeff Goldblum though? I do like this one scene towards the end that kind of recreated the most iconic scene in the first Jurassic Park, and you know which scene I'm talking about. But that's all my positives. Now let's get to everything that is wrong with this Dino turd. This movie's runtime is 90 minutes, and I personally find that to be a problem because it ends up being rushed, no plot development, no character development, etc. And this literally feels like a straight-to-DVD sequel. The CGI and production design look so cheap, and it makes you question how it felt like for people to see this in theaters. But the biggest problem with the movie were the characters, with the exception of Alan Grant. Like what I said, Ellie was wasted. And where's Ian Malcolm? First, Alan Grant was absent in the second film, and now Ian Malcolm is absent in this one. Honestly, I prefer Ian Malcolm over Alan Grant. There, I said it. Thankfully, the new characters are better than the ones in The Lost World, but I mean that in a bad way. Paul and Amanda are two of the most unlikable and annoying characters in this franchise. Thank God we wouldn't have to see them again. And also, this doesn't feel like a Jurassic movie at all. This feels like a regular action movie, but with dinosaurs as the bad guys. There is no sense of threat, danger, and even suspense. It wasn't even enjoyable. 90 minutes with fast pacing, yet I was bored out of my mind. Overall, Jurassic Park 3 is a disgrace to the the name of Jurassic Park, and it's what caused the series to be put on a hiatus only to be revived by Jurassic World. I give Jurassic Park 3 a 2 out of 10. So, that is the end of my Jurassic Park sequels double review. What is your opinion on these movies? Comment down below, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for my review of Jurassic World. Bye guys.